let me create one database called student database. Student database. For creating database in MySQL, we have a command called create. Create. I will tell you what are these commands and how to work on these commands. For creating database, we have command called create. For creating anything in SQL, we have same command called create. For creating database, create database. Database name. We have to give that database name. I want to create this specified database. I want to create student database. Okay. Is it visible now? Create database, student database. After completing the query, you have to give semicolon. Create database, student database. Semicolon. At the end of the query, after completing each and every query, we have to give semicolon. It is mandatory. Create database, student database. Is it any difficult? Is there any difficulty in the normal English only? No, it is folder. Folder name. Folder, like folder database will be created. Database is nothing but a folder. We can store a lot of tables in the database. Yeah, I will show you how to do. Yeah, names will not allow spaces. I will tell you, names will not allow spaces in SQL. Only between commands we have to give spaces. Create database, student database. Yeah, I am creating this thing. Query got executed. Here in the output, you can see this. Green tick symbol means successfully executed. Okay. I am going to next lines. We can leave a number of lines. For readability, I'm leaving one line. Here, if you refresh schemas, all these are folders. If you refresh these schemas, new database will come with student database name. This is now I created this particular thing. Now I selected the school database. Student database is not selected. The database which is selected will be highlighted with bold letters. The database which is selected will be highlighted in bold letters. See, school text is in bold letters, all the remaining text is in normal letters. If you want to select student database or if you want to select any specified database in SQL, you have to execute the command called use database name. Use database name. Use student database. After that, semicolon. No. Yeah, you can give any name to the database. It's our wish. You can give student DB. No. This black color thing is not the code. This blue color thing is commands of SQL. After explaining about commands, you will understand. This is just to understand how to execute the query and all. If we don't mention semicolon after every query, for the next query, it will throw a red color into one. Even if you execute this query, it will throw error because it will consider as up to here, it is the same query. These three lines are of same query. Only if you give semicolon, it will consider that query completed. This is next query. If you don't give semicolon, it will complete the whole thing as single query and it will give you errors, syntax errors. After every query, you have to give semicolon. If I execute this second thing, this student database is selected. Now you can check it. Student database got highlighted. In this database, we have multiple database objects like tables, views, stored procedures, and functions. Are you able to see? If you open this database, tables, views, stored procedures, and functions. First, we are going to deal with tables. After that, we are going to deal with views, stored procedures, functions, and multiple other database objects are also there. We will work on them. First, we are going to see about tables. For creating database, we have a command called create database. Similarly, for creating tables, we have a command called create table. Here, if you see in this database, no tables are there. Only empty tables, views, stored procedures, and functions. Everything is empty. If you have any tables, near tables, there will be arrow mark. In school database, there are tables. That's why after tables, there is small arrow mark just before the tables. You can expand these tables and you can see what are the tables which are present in school database. Here, we don't have any expansion button as we don't have any tables. We are using this student database now. In this particular folder, I want to create table now. In this particular database or folder, I want to create table. Let me create table called student details. For creating database, we have a command called create database. For creating table, create table. Create table, student details. Student details. After creating this thing, you have to give parenthesis. And in between these parentheses, you have to give what are the columns which are present in this table with their data types. In student table, I am storing 4 columns called student ID, name, age, gender. You have to mention the specified column names and the type of data which it is storing, which means you have to mention its data type also. Where? It is student details. After that, we have to give parentheses. In between parentheses, you can give column names. You can write in single line also. Here also we can give column names. But for readability, I am writing in multiple. Create table student details. In between parentheses, we have to give column names. I am taking ID as first column. And it is storing integer, which means number. ID integer. Don't worry about data types also. I will explain you what are the data types that we have in SQL. Name. I'm taking character or varchar. You can take anything. Character of 20. Yeah, I will explain. It is the maximum capacity of that particular column. I will tell you why we are giving 20 and all. While explaining data types, I will explain all these things. Age, which is again integer. This is normal basic thing. Here we are using only integer and character data type. We have multiple data types further. We have a lot of data types. After explaining about data types, we will change these data types. This is sample table. We will delete it. Gender, I'm taking character of 10. These are the 4 columns which are present in table. After specifying each and every column, we have to separate with comma. For the last column, you need not. You should not give any comma. After creating all this thing, we have to click on Control Enter to execute. After each and every query, you have to click on Control Enter. After the semicolon, after the ending of each and every query, we will give semicolon. After semicolon, you have to click on Control and Enter at the same time to execute. I executed this specified table. Okay, table got executed successfully. Here, nothing is shown because these schemas are not refreshed. For refreshing this, near this schema's name, parallelly, we will have small refresh button. Here, we will have small refresh button. If we click on this refresh button, see, I got some expansion button near tables. For student database, near tables, I got some expansion button. If I expand it, I can see the table name, student details. I created student details table, right? I can see the same name here. If I expand it again, I can see what are the columns present in it. If I expand it, ID, name, age, and gender. With all the columns, I created this student details table. Okay. Now I want to see the data which is present in the table. I want to print my table. It is just executed. I didn't saw my table, right? Yeah, I will insert values, but I want to see empty table here. At least I created the table. I want to see the empty table. I will tell you how to insert values. Table name, column. For column names also you should not give space. Here it is column name and it is data type. Between column name and data type you have to give space. But in between name you should not give space. If the column name is student ID, you should give it as student ID completely. You should not give student space ID. Okay, let us see how to print the data. You need not to worry about any of the query syntax or anything. This is just the basic session. I am showing you how it will work, where it will store on them. To print the data which is present in the table or to print the table, we will have a query called select. Select star. Star means all. All. We can give column names also. If we are giving all column names, query will become lengthy. Instead of that, I can mention star. Star means all. You can give select ID, select name, select age, select gender. Like that also you can give. Select ID, age, name, age, gender. Like that we can give. But we need not to return that write that much lengthy because we have star. It means all the columns from table name, student details. Select star from student details. If we execute this particular thing, we will be able to print our table. This is the table that we created. Yeah, we can execute by using Thunder button also, but you have to select the query. You have to select this query and you have to execute. It is difficult, right? While typing, it is better to type Control Enter. If you click Thunder button without selecting anything, it will execute all the queries which you written. I created the database already. If I execute this thing, from first it will execute all the things. I got error. Can't create database, student database again. Student database already present. If you create one folder in your hard disk with the same name, is it possible to create another folder? No, it is not possible. Similarly, if you created any database with the same name, we can't create one more database. It is throwing an error called can't create database. Student database already exists because it is executing queries from beginning again. If you want to execute only single query, you have to select this query and you have to click on this Thunder button. It is very difficult. It is better to click on Control and enter. Control and enter. No query. We don't have any query. We have to select this particular query and we have to click on Thunder button here. For each and every query, if it is multi-line query, we can't select the whole thing exactly and we have to click on Thunder button. Yeah, that's why. It is better to click Control Enter after the query without selecting. After that, to insert data into the table, we have a command called insert. To insert data, we have a command called insert. Insert into, you have to mention table name, which is student details. Insert into student details, you have to mention values. And in the parenthesis, you have to give values for each and every column in the same order. In the same order, you have to give. You have to give values in the same order. First one is ID. I am taking ID number 1. Name Ram. Age 21. Yeah, text data you have to give in single quotes or double quotes also. And gender, male. After completing the query, we have to just click on Control Enter. This value got inserted. If we execute select star from student details, we will get that particular record in the table. Control Enter to execute the query. For executing any query, we have to use the same thing. Insert into student details, values. These are the values of one record. By using one insert query, we can insert multiple values also. We will see how it will work in further sessions. We can insert a single record, we can insert multiple records, and we have different methods of inserting data. Okay, this is how we can create table in SQL. Small thing, easy thing. Okay. If we write single insert query, and if we insert multiple values also, table will get multiple values. You can give multiple values also. Yeah, I will tell you how it works in real time, because we will not insert data manually. It will come automatically. But we have to create tables and we have to check once how this data is taken. Yeah, in the same thing. In the same query, now we can't insert. If we insert, it will get duplicate values. After executing, we have to write one more query. One minute. I am showing one more query. So I am taking value number 2. Name is Sana. Age 23. Gender female. Okay. If you want to give multiple values also, we can. With comma as separation, we can give multiple values also. I can give value number 3. John. Age 22. And gender male. We can give multiple values also. I will tell you how to use these commands. You don't worry about these commands and all. Just see how it is working. If you execute select star from student details, we inserted 3 values. All the 3 values we are able to print them. Okay, guys, this is for today.